Welcome to this week's episode of Your Stock Request for the 11th of July. Hi, I'm Michael Gable, Managing Director of Fairmont Equities. Your Stock Request is a weekly video where I take your requests and analyse the share price charts. So this week we have Woodside, Challenger, A&O, CSV and BMN. So if you have a request, make sure you email it to me. Remember to sign up to our free newsletter. Make sure you share these videos on social media. And also just remember, any advice here is general only. So looking at Woodside, this is one that I covered only a couple of weeks ago, but it does still remain in a range. So this is a daily chart. We can see the sideways range here. Basically, I'm looking at a break to the upside of this range. So we've had a few attempts. Most recently, we've had a fairly corrective pullback compared to this prior rally. So in my opinion, it looks like it's getting ready to make another attempt at resistance. And I think once it breaks that, we'd be looking at sort of new highs compared to last year. So over $40. So for the moment, wait and see. A break of here is a buy signal, looking at over $40. So Challenger, not a very good looking chart. I mean, this is the weekly. We can see how far it's come back. It's basically halved in value over the last year and a half. So the shares are still in a downtrend. And most recently, it's sort of characterized by this sort of gapping down. So we've had a gap down in January, a struggle here to gain any sort of traction, and then another gap down, and again, a bit of a struggle to move higher. So look, all of this isn't a good sign, and for the moment the risk is still to the downside. So I'm not seeing anything that's getting me interested in Challenger. A&O, so that's advanced nanotech. Fantastic run earlier this year, although looking a bit top heavy now. The recent decline, as we can see, the momentum is starting to increase on the downside. So instead of fairly slow decline, it's starting to really gather pace here. And what I've noticed, we'll just zoom in for you on the daily chart. What I've noticed is an increasing amount of volume on the way down. So for the moment, it does look at risk of heading lower. So with CSV, this is daily chart. As you can see, there's not really much happening there. We'll move to a weekly. So going back the last few years, you could see it's shed quite a bit of value. The decline has started to slow down, which is a positive. But look, we're still seeing, if we just zoom in a bit, we are still seeing sort of the lower lows and lower highs. So that's not a good sign. Generally, we want to see higher lows and higher highs starting to form. And if that was the case, and if it was to start heading higher, I think there'd be strong resistance at this level here, which is about 26 cents. So Bannerman, finally. So weekly chart, looking over the last couple of years, hasn't made any progress. However, price action just recently is starting to look a bit more positive. So if I zoom in a bit, what I'm noticing is this recent decline over the last several weeks has started to round out, and then we've had a nice sort of move up here. And again this week it's sort of gapped higher. So it looks like it's ready to make another move higher in the short term at least. You'd probably say this sort of 6-cent region seems to be an obvious initial target. So for the moment, BMN is looking okay. Right, well that's it for this week. Send me your request. I'll try to fit it in next week for you. And remember to share the video on social media.